Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We are currently on the final day of trial here for the murder of Jack Hammer. And, well, things have escalated quite significantly since we were last here. Not only did we find out that the murder took place in Studio 2, but we also found out that it's tied to an incident 5 years ago in which Jack Hammer pushed somebody off of a set, and that person landed on a fence that then pierced through him. And D. Vasquez, the producer at Global Studios, has been covering this up by blackmailing Hammer into doing all manner of things, including being in low-budget shows like The Steel Samurai. It certainly looks like the spotlight is going to be on her today, so let's go ahead and get going. We're going right into the courtroom.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statements.
In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Well, that's interesting. Edgeworth is not quite so adamant about it being Will Powers, who is the guilty party here, despite the fact that we started with that premise. I guess even that's kind of a lost cause now.
Very well.
Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. The crowd seems a bit on edge too.
You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. I like how she's even smoking in court. Oh, that's not the judge. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I'm a producer for Global Studios. Wow, that was surprisingly easy given what Edgeworth has been through so far. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. Really? I couldn't tell. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here.
Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder.
Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. The day of the murder. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. It ended at 4 o'clock. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all.
I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Good point, Judge, for once. How exactly did they get over there? Or was this when before the monkey head fell? The van. There's a van at Studio 2. Oh yeah. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with that monkey's head toppling over. Wait a minute. How would you be able to drive then? I mean, the path is blocked, so how could you go around the monkey head in the van? Van added to court record. Manella used this van to drive Vasquez to Studio 1 after the meeting in the trailer.
I see. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Alright, I'm wondering if we can present the monkey head as a contradictory piece of evidence. That seems like a very important detail. Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, right. Okay. I just want to make sure there wasn't like a... something that we needed to add to the testimony here. Let's present this. No? Well, come on, that's totally related. Yeah, okay, okay, we know that happened. Let me just look over all the evidence first. We have... I don't think this is going to be relevant anymore. It's interesting that we still have the 5-year-old photo, despite... Well, I guess we wouldn't have given it to her since Detective Gumshoe showed up. I thought we did, but I guess not. Okay, that's the one in the employee area. So one thing I am kind of curious about is, and I don't know if I've brought this up yet, is why is it that this plate has the bone from the T-bone left over, but the one in the Studio 2 area, despite being a T-bone lunch, did not have bones on it? That's rather curious. Alright, I think for now I'm just gonna press everything. Let me go back to the start of this. Okay, here we go. By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop in the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. Yeah, I gather that is the case. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. I love it when he goes smooth. And what exactly was that? I've forgotten. Well, that's rather convenient. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 o'clock, and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5 o'clock. I would think it was between those times. Oh, this is after the meeting. That makes sense. You would think. Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Okay, we did that already. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright, he says as he hits his desk. Oops. It was a 15-minute break. It was a 15-minute break. Okay. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else? One person is enough. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proved she didn't eat that steak. Well, Nick, find anything? I kind of wish she'd said a little more. It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said. Somewhere. Okay, so... they're hinting that we need to find evidence proving that she didn't eat a steak. I'm wondering if we were just supposed to show this steak plate as proof simply because it has the bones. Maybe that's what we're supposed to be doing. So maybe my idea is correct. Ah, there we go. Ha, as I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak, but I say you did not.
Well, what's this now, Mr. Wright?
Look at this.
It's a plate?
This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you that it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manellis ate at a table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm glad that this finally came into play. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too. No, you didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator.
I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during that break?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting the Steel Samurai. She was meeting with the Steel Samurai.
Order! Are you saying?
Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands.
Mr. Wright! Isn't that a little presumptuous?
What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Oh, now she's looking directly into the camera. That means serious business. Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I think we're supposed to say you couldn't. We've been assuming that the spear was the weapon. But Phoenix had said something really interesting earlier in Studio 1 when we were looking at the scene of the crime, where he remarked that there wasn't really anything trace-wise left on the body, which, in light of the fact that the murder took place elsewhere, makes sense. But I'm curious if maybe it's because the weapon actually wasn't the spear. I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. Ha. You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon. Yes! Okay, good. What?
What is the meaning of this?
We keep having the tables turned at every turn here, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that even this is being turned on its head as well.
The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
Yes, but that was in Studio 1 where everything was obviously fabricated. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. Is it supposed to be this? Because it was, like, broken? Let's present this. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? I mean, I feel like it's still kind of possible.
Order! Order!
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer?
I have a pretty good idea, and considering where it was and who was involved, I think we know what could have been used as a weapon. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was?
I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright.
Nah, that's only in alternate universes where we get penalized.
Very well, let's see this murder weapon then.
I think she pushed Hammer onto this fence. Look at this photo.
What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order! Order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about?
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest?
What? Are you saying?
Yes. What happened 5 years ago has happened again. I think it's the first time we've seen her look, like, really surprised.
Mr. Wright, continue!
It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. I don't know, in that photo it looks like she's kind of shocked at what happened. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Easy there, Palpatine. Ho ho. Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my scriptwriting staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died at the trailer as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? Well, I can see maybe one kind of instrument that would be used for that. There wasn't enough time.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
I'm gonna say she had another way. We know that they used the van to somehow get to Studio 1 even though the path was blocked. So maybe there's another way to get there, I don't know. But Sal is also somebody who's under her thumb. So I'm wondering if he was an accomplice here. What if she had another way to carry the body other than with her own hands? For instance, Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body.
Alright, van. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I think they're suggesting that the van being driven afterwards was after the monkey head was lifted. It was after the 4 o'clock meeting end time. And then they did it before 5 o'clock. I think that's what they're trying to say. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? Well, I would say, based on what we know, yes, he was under her thumb for a really long time. Of course, Salmonella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget, they had to have disposed of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Could that fit in there? I feel like that was awfully small for that costume. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? Well, that was awfully easy. So what happens next? Don't question mark me! Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? I don't know, how about I'm guilty? Huh? I lost? Something like that? Well, she already said that. I just said that. Yeah. Wait, so you mean... D. Vasquez, so it was you? You killed Jack Hammer. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. And the result of that battle? You proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? I don't know, you seem awfully smug about this, Vasquez.
Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Edgeworth is definitely becoming less sure of himself throughout this case. Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but, there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving.
What do I do now?
Let's ask her to testify again. That usually is what we need to do. I'd like you to testify again.
Testify again?
Know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Damn. Damn! To come so far only to fail.
As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
Whoa! Edgeworth to the rescue? Question mark?
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. Well, that was anticlimactic.
I see. Very well.
Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything gained by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about?
Well, yes, Indeed. Verily I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Nick, why did Edgeworth... Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. Maybe this is violating Edgeworth's internal sense of justice or something. But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he has never lost, right? After all that, Edgeworth... After finding the body, I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. I immediately... Oh, wait. Did I skip something there? I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying, "He did it!" I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home.
I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. That's an interesting metaphor. Right. Alright, let me make sure I didn't skip something here. Yeah, I didn't skip anything. You have to find something to peg this on her here, or everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him. Alright, I'm gonna just press everything here. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 o'clock for the rehearsal. So I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Ronella arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Let's press harder. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, that's awfully convenient. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy.
Boy? The witness will continue her testimony.
Okay, so that didn't really get anywhere. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Yeah, she is one cool customer. Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person?
I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez?
Logically speaking, perhaps, but no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. I disagree with that. I think he does stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers.
Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue.
Okay. What was everyone else doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silence. Completely silence. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene.
Sorry I'm late.
Then, silence. Dead silence. And apparently dead silence here too. Silence. Hey Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. I feel like when she says silence, things actually end up that way. Old bag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right, the steel samurai. Did a detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all of this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned. And I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. Wow, that must be nice to just be able to duck out of that. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Apparently she can. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in the meeting. There was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. I feel like we've proven that you could have been involved at this point. Covered for you, or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. Weren't you missing your script when we met you? The script and your direction notes? Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? That's a good question. Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why is that? If you didn't know about the murder. Why? There was a murder after all. Yeah, but if you weren't involved, then wouldn't you have not known about that on your way to Studio One? Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh yeah, I guess. No, Phoenix, don't let that go. That's an interesting...
Very well. Miss Vasquez, please continue.
Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Whoa, Edgeworth. I think this is the first time we've seen him do that.
Huh?
Or, wait, huh? No, that's not the judge. Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before... Thank you! Thank you, Edgeworth! Before going to Studio One.
Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth! What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense?
I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, Do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason.
I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. You have to find something to peg this on her here, or everything we've done until now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him! Okay, so this is the new piece of testimony here. Wasn't she not there in the morning when he got injured? Like, how would she have known that? Unless Manila told her. Let's, press on this first for presenting evidence. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, the director. You have to find something to peg this on her here. Oh. Alright, so... I'm gonna go back to the end there. I wish there was a faster way to do this. Let's look at the evidence here. I actually don't know what the answer here is. This is going to be interesting. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. So we know that this is Hammer, right? Or the one dragging one leg. But hang on a sec. Didn't we determine that Powers was the one who got injured? Is that what we're supposed to present here? Yes! Okay, good. You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers! Okay, good. I was like, that does seem a little strange. What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. But pretending. One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right. He must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manila was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, I think she saw Hammer limping, and this is all she knew. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes.
Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured?
Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Ah!
And when was he doing this? Well, it would have had to have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in the Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning.
Order! Order! I will have order!
So wait a minute, does this mean that she didn't actually know she was meeting with Hammer? I'm really curious if that was found out only after the murder happened.
Witness.
Can you refute this claim? I mean, it would be interesting because, what motive would she have to kill Hammer, considering that she was making a lot of money off of him? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Okay, here we go. Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing.
Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive?
So, I don't believe she actually did have a motive. In fact, I'm not convinced she even knew that was Hammer at all. Nick, no! Saying you can't prove it now would be admitting defeat. She'll get away. But what proof could I possibly have? I don't care if it's impossible, you still have to fight this one. Okay. I have proof. Oh, okay, so I guess we have to show something here. I have proof and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. So, I mean, unless this whole accident thing, like, Hammer was threatening to come out and expose her and what she's been doing, or maybe admit that that he did something, and then that would paint the studio in a bad light, and then she decided to silence him. I can see that maybe being a motive. So maybe she did know that was Hammer. Let's present this. This is my proof.
This is the photo from before?
This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial, it began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star.
One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. As we thought. Wait a minute. Wait. What if Hammer came there to kill Vasquez in the Steel Samurai costume and frame powers for doing so, and then Vasquez accidentally killed him in self-defense? I wonder if that's what happened. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder.
I don't think she actually had any motive. She had no motive, Your Honor.
What's that now?
It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. Yes! Okay, good.
What's that now?
It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez.
What? What?
Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking it was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dee Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. Oh my. So you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez. What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel! Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No. No! How could this... It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No! Manuel! Manuel! Don't touch him. Miss Vasquez. No! Please. Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's Dee Vasquez?
In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
It appears you have brought about yet another miracle.
I thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers,
not guilty. I always love when they show this confetti and then the defendant is suddenly up on the stand, even though they weren't there before.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Wow, what a journey that was. That was filled with all kinds of twists, wasn't it? October 20th, 1:12 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder? It makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me. Why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
Well, this is what I think. I'm gonna guess he was jealous. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... I'm gonna say this, because you were getting all the glory. It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was the Steel Samurai?
Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids' show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you.
I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him anytime.
I think you're missing the point. Will seems like a nice guy.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP.
Oh? Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more.
Will you, though? It sounds like the show was about to be over.
I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Ah! Nick, Edgeworth. Hi, Edgeworth. Why are you glaring at us like that? Well, this is uncomfortable. Say something, Wright. I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth.
I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They always serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix, Wright? Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Oh. Okay.
Mr. Wright? Was that guy your friend?
What? Friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Yeah, me too. There's definitely something going on here. Come on, Nick. Tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids' shows again. Oh, hey! This ended up becoming a reality. Nick! This is it! The new show starts today! You're going to watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, fine. I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? Does he now? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. Yeah, I don't think so either, Phoenix. The end. Wow, I had to say, that case really surprised me in a lot of ways. I actually thought that the assistant was the culprit at first, when I first played this. And that was, or when I first saw this, which was like a whole decade ago. And I forgot what actually happened at the end, so it was nice to be surprised again by that. Alright, everybody, so next time, we're going to be starting a brand new episode, Turnabout Goodbyes. So let's go ahead and save here, and next time, we will begin episode 4. Take care, everybody, and I will see you then.